This is how messed up this story is. So here is me. They made me morph. But this is me. This is me probably at the age of 10. I look identical to the man when I was overseas in Turkey that saw him, which is 1 block north of me. He lives 1 block north of me. We are born to wealth. The problem is my mother's estranged. I'm raised by blacks. I don't know this man. I don't know this man. Okay? Now, if they took over his bank accounts because he went missing or he died, the bank account they gave me is joint with him. But if they took over it, they've been dipping into my bank account via his old account, thinking the money's going to him, when it's actually going to money laundering or a fraudster, possibly sitting inside our CSIS. So I don't know the noble. They may have crushed the noble. This person raised by blacks is Israel's biggest history. You don't like the story? We don't care. It's 35,000 years of gold this woman did. You don't like it because she was made morph in the story. Her face and body was altered 629 times. Like if you look at even my hands, has had all kinds of surgeries. Illegal. Like if you look at the thumb, and the magical palms are there. I'm just narrating as this female here. So the man they crushed, possibly, and attacked this woman turned around and crushed them in the story. Not once, not twice, maybe 100 times crushed Illuminati. The last battle, after the War of Uriver and after the fake and the real story, the last battle was, you destroyed Judaism, Hanna. This female here, who looks identical to the man I saw in Turkey. I didn't ruin nothing. I'm just trying to make one proposal since I asked permission from CSIS in 2008, 2009, years ago. I asked permission, and you have done nothing but injure me or block me for the 200 tables of the Real Evolve exhibit. I did the wings discovery. My trademark was retracted illegally. Now, we don't know if that man's living. He may be locked up. He may have been killed. Who knows? The point of the matter is they tried to crush Hanna because she's a female. But if I'm the daughter and they took over his bank accounts, it would explain why they're joint with me on the account. They're stealing money out of my TD account to crush Turk in the story. And you have to understand, this person's raised literally black. Like not Kim K black. Like chicken feet and oxtail and curry goat and West Indian and always nude on the beach. Like black. It's a black family. She doesn't know any other race outside her inner circle. So what they crushed and killed or did whatever, God placed back. They thought that by eliminating her, the world would continue. Hanna crushed them. What did Hanna do that made Hanna crush them? All I kept hearing was, God's punishing us for injuring him. I have no clue who these people are. But if that's not a messed up story with the test tube baby and how, everything going on and how they took over his estates and did all kinds of fraud and Canadian Tire and CIBC, and all she was doing was, but in the last battle, what did she tell those guys? She said, if all of you are gods, who's going to be your worker? Because Hanna quietly worked in the 17 years that she only made $2 that they were crushing. And she couldn't figure out why they were crushing her because it goes back to the Ottoman portion. You don't understand. UK, Poland, Germany, they're on Hanna because of the Turkish portion in Ottoman history that they're trying to crush. So Hanna has no clue who these people are or why they're trying to crush Hanna. Hanna's raised black, end of story. But because she's Turk, and because she doesn't drop that ID, and because she's thinking of Anatolia, and because she, has Kurdish in her, but Ottoman Kurdish, all they wanted to do was crush her and crush her and crush her. When the gossip that this baby, which is Hanna, which is beautiful Hanna, made MORPH came out, they tried to crush her again. It's one of the most fucked up stories because it's the poor sister, one of 3 of incubated twins, which makes up rich sister, which is his sister's daughter, because his sister couldn't produce a child. So we call that girl rich sister, Hanna's rich sister, Belarus. Hanna has a black sister. Hanna has a sister with the family she was placed with when they switched babies at birth. It's so messed up, and the only sister Hanna knows is either her black sister or Jade, which is Yeshim from University of Chicago. So as they crushed her, God brought his flower back. God's telling people something. But China was on her. The Arabs were on her. India was on her. Poland was on her. Russia was on her. Everybody was on her. And she's like all confused and disoriented. Like, why are you in my little bank account taking my GST check? Because it was the mighty Turk of the past that was shooting its head up. So she wrote it into the Sun collection as language of Kanats, with an insane story for 25 years. Whoa. So when she said, as she was thrown, because, there's only men in the vicinity, she became the head of the labor parties. She said, the labor parties will come with me and you guys will, have a shitload of money and a shovel. You can work on it. Because all she was doing was sitting at home quietly working, really innocently, playing with her cats, wondering why Canada didn't give her a car. Because every time Canada was putting money into her account, which was linked to the noble, which was linked to the militaries, was taken over by an unknown person who was draining the crap out of her like a leaky faucet. So Hanna, on 17 years, $100,000 worth of letters to the Globe for marketing for Kanata Means Wings in 2013, not one message came to Hanna. They were very quiet. Hanna couldn't figure out. Quiet usually means, you've done something wrong. They're latched onto the noble's account who's draining Hanna because they need to crush the mighty Turk of history. But Hanna made it so beautiful because at York U, she had taken native classes. She herself doesn't see her as a white woman. She sees herself as a black female. She knows she's not black. She's like the ugly duckling syndrome. But if this is not a messed up story, I don't know what is. So that leaky pipe, this is Hanna now, with husband. You might see a white woman, but she sees herself as a black woman, like a reverse Oreo cookie, because her mothers were black, 3 of them. And the other mother from Turkey, even though she's born to wealth, is an estranged mother. It's a true story. If this is not messed up, I don't know what is. So if Hanna takes out the labor parties now, and there's no other half of the work, they already fucked up. She crushed them again, one final blow. But she didn't do it on purpose. They think it's a planned story when it wasn't. I think to win over the story, they made it a planned story, but it wasn't a planned story. Then comes the Vatican, because Hanna rocked the Vatican archives. Shook the archives like left, right, and center. The Vatican interrogated this woman for 13 years. Didn't believe the story. Nobody believes the story. Up to today, they still don't believe the story. But if Hanna takes out the labor parties, Jews will be left standing, holding their cocks, waiting for free labor. Another entry.